Welcome. I'm sitting here with Mitchel van Duuren. It's hard to pronounce in English, so yes, he is Dutch. And Mitchel and I have been working together for at least 1.5 years. And recently his NFT offer, he's teaching people how to flip NFTs, really took off. So I'm going to ask him a few questions to see, to discover how we did this, so people can learn from this and just see how it went in general. So thanks for being here, Mitchel. Please tell the viewers a little bit about yourself. So what have you been doing before? And what is the offer that you're running currently?
Yeah, sure. My name is Mitchel van Duuren. I live in Canary Islands, but I'm Dutch. Robin and I have been working together for 1.5 years. I've been a digital entrepreneur for 15 years already, like a very old OG in the space. I started out with a protein supplement company, like an e-commerce company. Then I went into the paleo diet. So I was the main go-to paleo guy in the Netherlands. I had some digital offers there, like 8 or 9 ebooks or something, and some programs. Then I went and built up a e-commerce website with mainly organic products. I sold that one in 2019 for a little bit over $1 million in cash. And together with a good friend of mine, we have a Nature Stone company. It's a physical company in the Netherlands. So over the past 15 years, I built 4 million-dollar companies from scratch. And then 10 months ago, I stumbled upon this NFT stuff. And I went very, very deep. I got some success, and then I made an offer there, which we have scaled up pretty well over the past couple of months.
Yeah, and you are saying it really like it's humble how you say I've got some success, because if I remember it correctly, you bought NFTs for 30 to 40K and you flipped it.
So I think, all in all, so in these 15 years, I sold at least $25 million worth of, online, digital and physical stuff, with the supplements all together. So I have some track record there. And then when I stumbled upon these NFTs, I bought for 3,000 euros. I bought, my first, NFTs. 1 month later, I flipped my way up until like 30,000 euros worth of NFTs. Then I was like, oh, wow, this is really something. I invested 30,000 euros more. And now I'm sitting on a portfolio of around 400,000 euros worth of NFTs. And that's in the last like 10 months. My clients, who are all Dutch right now, they made over 1 million euros worth of profits in the last 60 days. All with the method that I discovered in the last 10 months and which I perfected, to use for myself and now, teach my other clients. So.
Yeah. And that's also for everybody who's watching, like really important in this. There's 3 elements here that really explain success. First of all, the timing was amazing.
Oh, the timing is right. Yeah.
First in the market, NFTs were going up. Second thing is Mitchel actually flipped a lot of NFTs himself. And the cool thing is that you can see that on OpenSea. So you can really check if this person is not like making up some screenshot and saying this. And then the third thing is that quite fast, also his clients, the people who bought his course started getting results, which went up to like 1 million. So let's talk a little bit more about the marketing part of things, because that's what the viewers will be most interested in.
Sure.
So what you do is pretty interesting. I was like, what are we going to do? We're going to run a VSL without an opt-in. So we started with a VSL without an opt-in, at least on YouTube. And can you tell them a little bit more about the offer structure? So what happens? There's a VSL, and what happens then?
Yeah, sure. So people, we mainly started on YouTube, of course. It was just a click to a VSL. The VSL was like 1 hour. And then at around the 45-minute mark, you get like the call to action in the VSL. You get the thing where, the button pops up and people can just order the product. The product is $4.97. And then if they buy the product, they get an upsell. The upsell is $9.97 for a quarterly subscription of my insider knowledge. So every time I buy an NFT, people can directly see what I'm buying. I'm telling people why I bought the NFT, so the whole story behind it and my thought process and all that stuff. Then We have some ambassadors now. So those are the 10 people that flipped the most profit in NFTs. They also do their calls and stuff like that. That's all like in this like insider kind of thing. That's $9.97 for a quarter. And then if people say no to that upsell, they are going to get a downsell where they can go for $3.97 a month. And that's basically the offer. It's not more than that. It's very easy, very, very straightforward, but it's an offer that, people cannot really refuse because there's just so much money to be made in the NFT space, and people really can, they can see that. Again, what you said, like everything is transparent, everything is on the blockchain. So every time I sell something, I sell an NFT for 40,000 euros of profit. People can actually see that. So it's not like blah, 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 what you say, like making a screenshot or whatever. People can actually track that, all that stuff down, and they can see like, oh, this is really legit. And then they're like, oh, if this guy is making 40,000 euros with one NFT flip, and the program is $4.97, that's a pretty good ROI. If I could do something myself, heck, if I could only do like 10% of that, then it would still be an amazing ROI. So that's how you structure the offer in a good way. And then, the upsell, downsell part is just adding to the average order value. And then, we can advertise more.
Yeah, and there's two cool things I want to talk about a little bit. So the first thing is that because you see it on OpenSea, because it is on the blockchain, it's not like how they do it with trading sometimes, that they just have different accounts and they're like, okay, if it's going up, I make this much, and if it goes down, I still get a profit in the other account, and then they show the screenshot. But because this is on the blockchain, you cannot just like buy one and then delete it from there and be like, oh, I didn't buy that one, and just show your winners. So this is as transparent as it gets. It's like, of course, maybe you could have started with like 10 accounts and then pick the best one, but that is, first of all, super expensive, and then also you don't have a long-term business because you would not be able to do that. So that is pretty cool. The other thing is that this, most people are like, oh, you need to get an email. But you pulled it off without, especially at the beginning. It was profitable literally on the front end without sending any emails. So that is definitely a cool thing to consider, or at least experiment with if you're watching this, to try the VSL without an opt-in. That was really interesting for me. I was like, oh, was this going to work? Oh, but it did. So, and that's the great thing. You always have to test and do that stuff. So let's talk about the elephant in the room. How many courses did you sell, or what can you tell us a little bit more about, the success we achieved with this?
Yeah, sure. I mean, we have been working on this offer together now for how long is it? Like 5 months or something?
Yeah, 5 or 6. Yeah.
Like 5 or 6 months. We sold 2,000 front ends, and we just scaled up to like more or less 2 Lambos a month in revenue. I'm a Dutch guy, we Dutch people are, I wouldn't say everybody is humble, but I'm more just like, okay, I don't have to scream from the rooftops like, oh, this is how much money I make and stuff like that. But 2 Lambos is pretty accurate. And we are doing well since, even if the market goes down a bit or it goes up, sure, when NFTs are going up, when we have a bull run, a lot of people buy in. When it's going a little bit, slower, sales slow down a little bit, but overall, we can spend, at least 100,000 a month very profitably. And that's only in the Netherlands, right? So it's also not like a huge market like the English market, which we are going to conquer also.
Yes. Can keep watching, stay tuned. Yeah. So that's, I think, also the last thing, how I want to end this video, is that what he just said, like, hey, there are seasons, right? And it's still profitable, and it's little bit less than before. And that's also what I love about what you have been doing. Like, I have some clients, like, we have to reinvent the wheel every 3 to 6 to 9 months, but it's also an option to just freaking launch your course, make a bunch of money, and then you kind of position yourself an expert, and maybe then you just go back to like organic marketing. You make, a little bit less, but you don't have the hustle of like recording 20 ads per week and like building a huge sales team. So that's what I like, how you also incorporate it like in your lifestyle, where you also look like, hey, okay, what do I actually want to do to make this work? Because I think that's also, I mean, not everybody has that luxury, but I think that's also important, that you are like, okay, like it's not going to stay easy forever, and it's probably going to get harder. You notice that in a couple of businesses already. It's like, I need to do twice as much for the same amount of money. So then you can do two things. You can sell your company and you can start a new one, or you keep struggling. So that is definitely something that if you have the skills, then it's something you can do. So yeah, maybe you can touch on that for a few minutes.
So what I see is that, this is not like any financial advice or whatever, but I see a lot of people that are starting to make money also are going to spend a lot of money, right? And so what we did with our offer, it just went very, very well. But and everybody is different, but the way that I'm living my life is not like super, super luxurious. I'm not going to do private jets and all that stuff, and then we made a lot of money over the past couple of months. It basically gives me a war chest, if we have a month that goes a little bit, lower or whatever, I'm not stressing out or whatever. It's not like, oh, let's stop the ads. Let's reinvent the wheel, as you say. No, we have plenty left of reserves to go and build upon, and just easily like, oh, what should we switch? Should we maybe go for an opt-in? Should we test this? Should we test that? But if you're spending just everything that you're making, you don't have any, there's so much pressure involved that it's not good for the business at all. So, if anything, I would want to touch, on that. Yeah.
I mean, that's also nice that you mentioned that there is pressure involved. This is not like the easiest thing ever that like everybody can do. That's also why I think it's nice for you that I am there telling you like, hey, we need to fix this, or I'm like, no, we're good. So that you have like a little second opinion.
Yeah. So guys, everybody that's watching, I don't know if, Robin is not for everybody, but I've been 15 years in this space. Again, I built a lot of, $1 million businesses. I could easily think like, oh, I know it all, and when I started working with Robin, I didn't know anything about him. I just saw like, this guy with Robin Bauman, in the back. I was like, okay, whatever. But it seemed that, he has such a, huge amount of knowledge about, marketing and the digital space in general. And now, he has done, multiple offers for a lot of people that are doing very, very well. And he's basically telling me like, hey, we should watch this, or we should watch that, or we should, and I'm just I'm very humble and say like, okay, I'm just listening, because why not? What have I to lose? But I think there's a lot of entrepreneurs that are like, no, I'm the alpha male here, the alpha female, whatever, in my business. You're not going to tell me what to do. I'm going to tell you what to do. But I think in order for us, why it works so well is just that I just absorb the feedback, and then I will internally process it. If I think it makes sense, and a lot of times it does, then we are going to go forward with that. If I think, no, we should better, focus on something else, then we are focusing on something else. But I think that's what really makes us, work together really well. And that's why I also love to work with you for a very long period that's coming.
Thanks. Yeah. And it's also the other way around. Like sometimes Mitchell's like, oh, I want to test this 10-minute VSL. And I'm like, I don't know. And then we test it. And actually this is now a new thing that we are scaling up a little bit. So I think that's great. Yeah, I will end it with a little pitch here. Indeed, like if you are watching this and you're making at least 50K a month, or you've made a lot of money before and you want to launch something new, so like, hey, I'm going to spend 20 to 30K to just test out this offer, then of course feel free to reach out to me. And what Mitchell said, it's not for everybody. What I do is actually I look at your whole business, because that is what it takes nowadays to make advertising work. And I am gonna freaking send you a message every 3 to 7 days if necessary, until you quit or until we fix it, because I don't want to be responsible for somebody's business crashing. So I'm quite involved. So Mitchell, thank you for your time. I'm looking forward to starting on the US market as well. And
oh yeah,
thank you very much.
Thank you. Bye-bye.